Federico Marchetti runs one of the largest online luxury retailers in the world, but Yoox Net-a-Porter is more than just its namesake sites. His company powers the websites of some of the most recognizable and expensive fashion houses. It created the technical know-how and logistics that convinced luxury to move onto the web.
Federico, how mature is the e-market right now?
It's still at the very beginning. It's still, luxury online represent around 5 to 7% of the total revenue. So, there's a lot of space for growth. So I feel also myself and the company, even if it's 2 billion, we're the leader, we're global and so on, I think that we are really, sometimes I feel that I'm still at the beginning of the story.
Because we're going to shop differently, so are we going to buy more health and beauty online? Will men shop more online?
No, simply because the new generations that they are online all the time. They are super connected especially with the smartphone. They are growing and they will have more spending power, and so there's a progression coming soon.
How do you think people shop? So not that you're very high net worth individuals, but do people look online, go into the store, then buy online? Do they go to the store and buy online? Is it very fluid?
There are a lot of synergies. Yeah, there are a lot of synergies, and I do believe that the physical stores will always exist. Will always be very important, also for marketing, not only for sales. For example, I remember with Marni, that was one of our first online flagship stores. I remember the Japanese customers, because obviously the online flagship store by definition has the widest assortment of all the stores. It's the biggest store that they have in the world, not only in terms of traffic but also in terms of assortment. And so it's very, the Japanese customer, they went online and they were choosing the things that they like, the ready to wear, the clothing and so on. And then they were going into the Japanese store of Marni to say, do you have this one? But in most cases they didn't, because again, the assortment. And so the omni-channel is this, trying to make sure that the experience is one and only one.
Is that difficult? And is it tone?
The difficult part is to make it simple, because for the customer it needs to be super simple. So in the end, the customer want to have fun, entertaining, and they don't want complexity. So in order to give simplicity, the behind the scene is very, very complex. And to get it right, you need the experts, and we are the experts.
This is why they're the experts. Inside a warehouse on an industrial estate just outside Bologna, Italy, is the heart of Yoox Net-a-Porter. It's a fully automated warehouse with robots doing much of the work. The tech comes from here, a London hub where IT experts are trying to develop artificial intelligence that can help the group's personal shoppers anticipate the desires of high net worth clients.
Federico, how do you sell differently to a UK customer than you do to an Italian customer, to a Chinese customer?
So we sell to customers in 180 countries. But what makes Yoox Net-a-Porter very different from anybody else is the level of localization that we achieve country by country. So talking about Japan, or talking about China, or talking about Italy versus UK, so all the customers are different. And the localization is not only about the language, but it's also about details that are not so detailed in the end. I'll give you an example, again, about Japan. In Japan, we picked the best courier in Japan, because we try to always keep the quality very high, which is because we're in luxury, so everything needs to be consistent. And for the Japanese customer, the most important thing is to have the delivery by appointment, because they don't care, rightly so, about a delivery in 60 minutes or 90 minutes. They care that they need to be home when the courier comes, which is, pretty understandable, no? And so the courier in Japan does the delivery by appointment. So I want the pack to be delivered by 5 p.m., at 5 p.m., and we do that. So everything is local. So including the delivery, payment systems, and assortment, the pricing, So obviously, we have, I think we have more than 10 million prizes overall.
Federico, if there was a young person who wanted to go into your business, so either in fashion or actually as an entrepreneur, what would be your number one advice to them?
I think, talking, for example, about Italians, in order to be local, but then we can expand it also to others. I think that one of the main problems of the Italians is that they think only about Italy. And so when they have these startups, they don't think about the world, they don't think about Europe, they don't think about US and Japan and China, but they stick only to a small country in terms of demand. It's a big country in terms of beauty, in terms of luxury brands, and so I'm very happy that I went back to Italy to start this business, because in terms of luxury brands, it is the place, together with France and Britain and a few others. But I think my piece of advice is when you think about the business idea, it needs to be applied to the global. So we're talking a lot about unemployment, no, among young generations in Italy, but also in Spain, in the UK, everywhere, no? But the true story is that there's a shortage in terms of people trained for digital. And that's why we're, as YOOX Net-a-Porter Group, we're part of this coalition at the European Union in order to train more people to reach the 1 million people able to work in digital. Because, for the companies, I see our company, we're desperately looking for talents in digital all the time, and it's part of my job. Recruiting is still probably the biggest part of my job. So trying to find talents out there.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I see YOOX Net-a-Porter Group doubling the size, as we expect from our strategic plan. We are on track with a growth of 17 to 20% year on year, which is exactly what we did last year. In the first quarter, 19.1%, so good. And I see myself still innovating and trying to come up with new ideas, and also enjoying all the talents that I've recruited along these years. And it's fantastic. For me, it's a fantastic experience to work alongside with people that are working with me since 17 years. Many people are working here since 17 years. From the CEO, the head of R&D. There are so many people that they are with the company since a long time, as well as some veterans from Net-a-Porter. Alison, she's with Net-a-Porter since 10 years. We're going to celebrate this fall 10 years of Alison, as well as new talents that I've hired. So I feel so lucky, as I said before, to work with such a talented team. And that's what I expect in 5 years, to continue to work with talents that are going to teach me also, and not only be driven.
If you had a magic wand and you could change something, maybe change something about the company, what would it be?
Frankly speaking, I have to say nothing. I know it doesn't sound good, but I think we really have the best business model for luxury, because we have full control of the supply chain, and the brands, they want control, because if they control prices, if they control service, they control their prestige, and this business is about prestige. So if you have a fragmented supply chain, I think that you lose control, and the brands, they will lose control, and it doesn't work. So for this specific category, this specific industry, I think we have the best business model. If I get frustrated, sometimes I get frustrated, the only thing I get frustrated is about speed, because I'm an entrepreneur that is passionate about speed, and always I'm driving and trying to push everybody with this sense of urgency that is part of my job.
Federico, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.